Hi there, thanks for joining me again. In this video, I'm going to share a prophetic word that came out of a brief dream from the Lord back on January 27th of 2016. So I'll get started. You can find this word again on scrollandfigleaf.wordpress.com if you're interested. I went to sleep and was startled awake when I dreamed that a large grasshopper landed right in front of me. It looked like a typical grasshopper, but it was oversized. It felt very real and for some reason was a little frightening. I'm not typically afraid of bugs or grasshoppers specifically, and there was no dream surrounding the grasshopper, just its presence, and immediately I was forced awake. I believe the grasshopper represents trouble and devastation as an instrument of God's judgment. A grasshopper was one of those instruments of plague in the time of Moses in dealing with Pharaoh to release God's people. I went back to sleep and was then woken by a sound that may have just been experienced in the spiritual, though it felt real in the physical. The room was silent when I opened my eyes. However, I saw in the spirit about 10 feet from me a figure that appeared to be holding a trumpet to its mouth, ready to blow. Then I heard the word, right. I lingered in my bed a little longer, and with my eyes closed, I saw a picture of a tear that falls in the shape of a cross. Then it turns to flames burning brightly and magnificently. It then becomes clear that the cross I am seeing is actually a cross plaque hanging on a wall up high. I see people walking by it and passing under it, but not even noticing it. I then saw a picture of myself kneeling down in my prayer closet with a man standing behind me with his hand on my shoulder. His eyes were blue as ice. I knew Jesus was calling to me, so I got up and went into my closet. I heard Jesus instruct me to write this. My people walk by my cross every day. It's so commonplace that its meaning has been lost, but for the purposes of decoration. My blood was spilled for the transgressions of all, yet the hearts of so many are cold, even lifeless, having been turned bitter by the deception of the evil one. I never cease to call out, to whisper in your ears, the truth that you are mine and I paid the full price to free you from the bondage of sin. You are no longer slaves to sin and death, and yet you live as if you have already died. I call to you to stand with me in this hour. The time for sleeping has passed. You must be awake and poised to receive my order. I send out the call to my army to rise up as one. Each must take their place so that I can lead you forward. It is I that makes a way. It is I that directs each step. You will know it is me when it's effortless. It will be like the breeze blowing you along. You will know that you are not alone. The trumpet bearers stand ready to blow at my command. The trumpets are even to their mouth and the breath in their lungs. This shall be a move of the one true God like has never come upon this earth to this day or ever again. Do you feel it? The winds of change. Once they blew cold, but now they blow with the heat of fury. It shall be unleashed upon the ungodly, they that choose evil over good, they that blaspheme his name, they that have covered themselves in every kind of precious jewel and riches, adorning themselves for their own glory, they that laugh at the righteous, who for my sake choose to serve instead of being served, they that pass the children by instead of giving a penny to those in need. This wicked generation shall pass away, and then I will come, and I will bring with me life eternal. I want to pause just a moment to comment. In the fall of 2024, before the election in the U.S., the Lord used the language of the winds of change more than once. I will share this in the next video because I believe these things the Lord speaks of are tied together due to that language being used. Resuming the word from January 2016. You see the lights in the firmament burning brightly. Do you not know that the Lord of all heaven placed them there for a purpose? Do you not see that he purposed them to be signs and signposts? Do not mock what you do not understand. With all the wisdom on this earth and the knowledge that moves to and fro, do not suppose to understand the things only my Father can fathom. His greatness is unseen and unheard of. Man cannot and will not grasp the depths of his genius on this side of heaven. Yet how good he is to give you a glimpse of his wonder and majesty, the seasons, the waves, the animals from the lowest of them to the greatest, living in harmony. And now his greatest creation, man, desiring to become like God, polluting what he created in perfection, requiring no alteration. Can you imagine his disdain over the mutants man has tried and succeeded at creating? Mosquitoes, the smallest of creatures, causing such great harm to his children. Do you not feel his heart breaking for what man has brought on himself? And again, pausing to say, at this time when he was speaking to me, there was what was called the Zika virus. What I understood was that it was brought about by man tinkering with genetics of mosquitoes. Resuming this word. Know this, the blood of the Lamb protects all. Just as my people covered their doorposts so that the angel of death passed over, so shall the blood of the Lamb protect every life, whether in the womb or in a home. I freely gave of my blood. Every drop is available to you and to your families. So seal yourself in my name. Write my blood on your hearts and on your minds, and let it cover your homes and your children. Nothing outside of my blood may penetrate that which is within its covering, which becomes righteous, pure, and holy. It is yours for the taking. All you must do is to ask me into your heart and surrender your own protectors, which are foolhardy and only lead to destruction anyway. The shaking that I have warned of is upon you, but my sheep must fear not. Rest in me, and I in you. And then the Lord lists out specific warnings to specific areas or regions for his purposes. He says, Woe to the inhabitants of California! You have not seen the worst of what shall befall you. The prideful and the arrogant will fall to their knees before my Father's judgment ends. Woe to the inhabitants of Seattle, for the darkness you have welcomed upon yourselves. The stench of the fornication has reached my Father's nostrils, and the repulsion is too much to bear. Woe to the inhabitants of Colorado, for your drunkenness and your orgies. You have given up sober life for slumber and lightheadedness. You are raising a generation of thieves and bums. Woe to the inhabitants of New England for your political treachery. You scheme and you plot, selling your lies and your forgeries. Your way of life shall soon change. Woe to the inhabitants of Harlot City, New York City, who lure men in with her wiles only to gut them and take their souls. Your fate has been sealed. The tall buildings will become jumping grounds for so many. Woe to the inhabitants of Chicago, for you have caused the death of the family. You have caused men to fail to become fathers and women to forget how to mother. You have torn the very fabric of this country apart. Why, oh why have you chosen to believe the lie? You shall see these things come to pass, and you will know that the Lord has spoken. I was then sent to Jeremiah 33. While Jeremiah was still confined in the courtyard of the guard, the word of the Lord came to him a second time. This is what the Lord says, He who made the earth, the Lord who formed it and established it, the Lord is his name. Call to me, and I will answer you and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know. For this is what the Lord, the God of Israel, says about the houses in this city and the royal palaces of Judah that have been torn down to be used against the siege ramps and the sword in the fight with the Babylonians. They will be filled with the dead bodies of the people I will slay in my anger and wrath. I will hide my face from this city because of all its wickedness. And that ends the word. The Lord referenced signs in the heavens. As a reminder, after this word, America had a solar eclipse in August of 2017 and another in April of 2024. In a prior video, I talked about the 7 planets aligned from January through May of 2024 during the American solar eclipse. There was also the September 23rd, 2017 Revelation 12 verses 1 and 2 fulfillment, as well as numerous blood moons on feast days and other solar eclipse over other lands. In the spring of 2026, on April 2nd during Passover, again, 7 planets will form a parade through 3 constellations of Pisces, Taurus, and Gemini, which I believe is significant and watchworthy. Thank you.